Hello and welcome to From Upside Down to Right Side Up. This is a show that used to be called Tips for the Transition, and we're not changing what we do, we're just changing what we call it. I'm María Tomás-Keegan, your host. This is my continuing series of interviews in which I chat with strong, resilient women who have an inspiring story of transformation to tell, and they are courageous enough to tell it to us. So today my guest is Tish Times. She is my friend, she is a coach, and I call her my sister from another mother. I'm so honored that she's agreed to be a guest on my show today because it's the first time that she has lifted the curtain on this part of her journey. The title of the episode is called The Road to Confidence. Hi, Tish.
Hi, Maria. So glad to be here. I'm super excited to be with you today.
Welcome, and thank you so much for agreeing to be my guest. You know, loss and grief come in all kinds of ways, don't they?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and we all have turning points in our lives. So I would love it if you would share with us that pivotal point in your journey that defined your path to where you find yourself today.
I'd be happy to. It's, there's so much to this story. As I was preparing to talk to you, I'm like, okay, where do I start? Because it's so rich and so much. But I will say the part that I don't share as often as you said was the fall, if you will. I had a very successful staffing company back in 2000, and I ran that company for about 8 years. And I think coupled with some, bad fortune with the economy crashing in 2008, as well as making some bad connections, unfortunately, my business literally took a huge topple. And it, along with the finances of it all and the business and the people who were affiliated with me at the time, my confidence took a nosedive because you go from being featured in magazine articles and being called on by the news to be their, expert to go to for certain things around employment and things of that nature, to being featured in the news around a business closure and employees that can't be paid because there's no money left, and there's so much to it. Literally, I literally don't know where to start, to be honest with you, but it was a huge awakening. It was a moment that, as difficult and painful as it was, I wouldn't change it because it literally has brought me to where I am today. But it was painful. It was painful not only for me, but for my entire family, because when I lost the business, we were making, let's just say we were doing really well. And when the business went away, so did the house, so did our cars, so did, the lifestyle we'd grown accustomed to. And it was difficult, to say the least, embarrassing. And I spent time afterwards in a pretty deep depression, and I had to keep moving. I had babies to take care of. I had a husband that I, wanted to be there for, and it was just a really tough time.
Wow. We so often we look at people we know, whether they are, we're out networking and we meet them, or we see them on social media, and we think, oh, she's got it all together. She's got it all. And we don't often know the story behind the scenes. So thank you for sharing that, because I know a lot of people look at you, myself included. If I didn't know you so well, I would be thinking the same thing, because that's how you show up in life.
Wow. Well, it's very interesting, and it always surprises me, believe it or not, when people say that, because when I see myself and having lived that journey, it feels like I was a hot mess. And you don't always know how people see you. But as I said, I wouldn't change the journey for anything. I remember many a day sitting in a closed room by myself, you know, at that time, wishing I could wave a magic wand and make it all go away and make everything change. But one thing I've come to learn, Maria, is that that pain, those difficult times really are building blocks for character. And God knows that was something that has shifted for me. I think that the way that I view life, the level of integrity that, you know, there were so many things that were built in me that I wouldn't take away. I could not be who I am. And, you know, thank you for saying that. I've heard that before. And again, it still amazes me when people say that I show up a certain way. There's no way I could show up that way absent of those things that took place to get me to where I am today.
Yeah, I understand that completely. So what I'd love to do is I would love to end this segment here and ask you in our next segment to talk a bit more deeply about the emotional struggle you went through as you picked up those pieces. Would you be willing to do that?
Absolutely. I'm all in now. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Till next time, stay tuned. I'm María Tomás-Keegan.